The expat dream is collapsing. For years, we've all heard that moving abroad is the only way to retire early or escape the rising cost of living in the U.S. But lately, the math has changed. Between gringo pricing, rising safety concerns, invasions, and the hidden costs of living as a perpetual outsider, the expat dream is becoming a nightmare for many. Today we're looking at 3 U.S. states that are actually beating popular expat havens right now, and why your best plan B might actually be right here at home. Hello and welcome to our Retire Early Lifestyle in America, U.S. State number 1, Arizona. It's got a great climate and great infrastructure. Arizona versus Mexico or Costa Rica. How does that sound? The country peddlers can't seem to stop comparing foreign countries to the USA. Well, 2 can play that game, and now it's our turn. If you like sun and hate rain, you'll fall in love with Arizona. Arizona offers the sunshine of Mexico, but with the stability of U.S. infrastructure and in many ways a better climate. Yes, the cost of living is higher than a beach in Oaxaca, but you aren't paying the stability premium. But we have to tell you, in an area like Puerto Vallarta or Cabo San Lucas, the cost of living is not much less than in Arizona when you tally it all together. But in Arizona, when you wake up in the morning, you have clean drinking water. After living in Arizona for 3 months, you still don't have parasites, and your electricity rarely, if ever, shuts off. It's sparkling clean, and the people are as nice as can be, just like in Mexico, except Arizonans speak English. When we finally decided we had enough of terrible water and stomach issues and parasites of Mexico and moved back to the USA, we drove through Arizona and loved it. We were in awe of the beauty and the weather. Here are the 2 regions of Arizona you might want to take a closer look at. Central Arizona, where Phoenix and Scottsdale are. This is the most direct alternative to places like Mexico or Costa Rica. Arizona actually has some of the best summer weather if you prefer sunshine and dry heat. The weather is best from October to April. It's the endless summer paradise during the winter months when the rest of the U.S. is freezing. Now, how do you like them apples? You won't have to worry about shoveling snow here. Now for the brutal reality. You do have to address the summer heat. From June to September, it can be 110 degrees, but when it's 90 degrees somewhere else in the USA South and 90% humidity, that 110 degrees plus Fahrenheit of dry heat is actually more agreeable for most people. If you want the heat of the tropics without the humidity or the hurricane risk, the Phoenix Valley is the winner. Yes, the summers are intense, but you have central AC and a power grid you can actually rely on. Something many expats struggle with abroad, especially in developing countries. The second region we're going to talk about is the northern high desert Arizona of Sedona and Prescott. Sedona and Prescott have a more temperate version of Arizona with 4 distinct but mild seasons. Prescott stays significantly cooler than Phoenix in the summer, and while it does receive a little snow in the winter, it melts quickly. Now for the brutal truth. That's what you want from us, right? The truth? These areas are becoming very popular in Arizona, so the cost of living is higher here than in the southern desert. At some point, we do have to decide, though, if our lives revolve around the cheapest place to live or the most agreeable for our well-being and lifestyle. If an area we love is too costly, perhaps we just need to put on our thinking caps and find ways to make it work, rather than complaining about how expensive everything is. Because that's the way the U.S. is. It's expensive here. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's all we're saying. For those who want a European mountain feel without leaving the States, northern Arizona and cities like Prescott offer that mild four-season climate. It's perfect for the person who wants to stay active outdoors all year without the triple-digit desert heat. In Arizona, you have world-class healthcare and a legal system you can actually understand. It's the difference between vacation living and real-world security. Bottom line, Mexico is wonderful for a 2 or 3 week vacation, but for living permanently, I'll take my well-being, health, and familiarity over pretty landscapes and cheap tacos any day. What about you? State number 2, Kansas, the ultimate value and safety net. You heard the saying, when you move to a foreign country, you're not in Kansas anymore. Moving abroad in places like Southeast Asia or Latin America and now even Europe, you lose all of that wonderful safety and stability that Kansas offers. Kansas might not be the first place you think of for retirement or for relocating, but if your goal is safety per dollar, it's almost impossible to beat. You can find a quiet, safe, small town where your dollar goes nearly as far as it would in a cheap expat country somewhere, but without the risk of being a target for local scams. We have to be brutally honest with you though. The winners are real, but for many, a few months of gray skies is a fair trade for 12 months of total peace of mind. Look, we're not telling you Kansas is a tropical paradise in January. It's cold. But is a cold morning worse than the gringo tax or being the target of the newest scam and all that baggage that comes with foreign living? That's the real question we need to ask ourselves. The best area in Kansas as far as weather goes is eastern Kansas, especially the northeast near Kansas City or Lawrence, which is generally considered the best weather for a few reasons. This area is lush and hilly compared to the flat plains of the west. It feels more like the Midwest Ohio Valley than the Dust Bowl stereotypes we often think about Kansas. You get more consistent rainfall, which keeps the landscape green. While it still gets cold, the northeast corner tends to avoid the most extreme wind chill and dust storms that batter the western half of the state. Fall in eastern Kansas is spectacular, mild, crisp, and perfect for the retire early lifestyle outdoors. Now for the brutal truth. This is Tornado Alley territory. While modern radar makes it very safe, you have to be honest about the occasional spring storms and the humidity in July. The bottom line is, if your priority is financial security, eastern Kansas is a powerhouse. You can buy a beautiful, safe home for what you'd pay for a small condo in a cheap expat city. Yes, you'll trade the beach for the prairie, but you're gaining a community where gringo pricing doesn't exist and your neighbors actually look out for you. They say Kansas has some of the friendliest folks on the planet. Welcome to Kansas. Moving on to our last state we have for you in this video information. State number 3, North Carolina, compared to Portugal or Spain. If we were to compare to Portugal or Spain, North Carolina has the same diverse landscape, but North Carolina is safer than Spain at this moment in time. Now that may change, but not anytime soon. North Carolina is the Goldilocks of retirement. From the Blue Ridge Mountains to the Outer Banks, it offers the diverse beauty people move to Europe for, but without the residency hurdles or the language barrier. You have many nice areas to live throughout the state: Asheville for the arts, the Research Triangle for healthcare, or the coast for relaxation. It's the ultimate all-in-one American alternative. And one of the best areas, in our opinion, in North Carolina is the Piedmont region, the central part of the state, which includes cities like Charlotte, Raleigh, and Winston-Salem. It's the perfect balance between the humid coast and the colder mountains. In the central Piedmont area, you're only a few hours from the mountains and a few hours from the beach. You get the variety of scenery that people move to Portugal for, but with American health care and no residency paperwork. That sounds fair enough, doesn't it? You get 4 distinct seasons, but they are relatively mild. The winters are short and rarely see significant snow, while the summers, though humid, are less intense than the deep, deep south or the baking heat of Arizona. Unlike the coastal regions like Wilmington or the Outer Banks, the Piedmont is far enough inland to be much safer from the direct impact of hurricanes, which is a huge peace of mind for the retiree or simply anyone who is looking to move to a new city and state. But of course, we won't keep the brutal reality from you. It is humid. If someone is fleeing a tropical expat country because they hate the swamp feel, they might find July and August in North Carolina a bit taxing. However, we think North Carolina weather is probably the best out of the 3 states we mentioned here today. If Arizona is too hot and Kansas is too cold, North Carolina is just right. At least that's what Baby Bear says. Let's recap what we found for you today to balance out this video. Number 1, Arizona, the hot, dry heat, best for sun seekers who hate rain. Number 2, Kansas, the value state, best for those who want the lowest cost of living and don't mind a real winter. And number 3, North Carolina, the balance, not too hot, not too cold or wintry, and it's best for those who want mountains and beach and mild seasons. So what do you think? And if you're bitten by the travel bug and still crave the adventure, you get the best of both worlds, a home in one of these states and vacations anywhere abroad your heart desires. What we have to say is, the U.S. isn't perfect, and we're not trying to make the U.S. out to be perfect. You'll pay more for a ribeye and your property taxes won't be $200 a year. But when you factor in the gringo tax, private international health insurance, and the stress of navigating a foreign culture, not to mention the foreign invasion happening in Europe right now, the gap is closing in on most foreign countries. I would even venture to say the expat dream is seriously collapsing right in front of our eyes. People often ask us, well then where can I move to if all these other countries are turning into undesirable areas? Well, you won't like my answer, but why move from the USA at all? For many of you watching, the best way to retire early might not be a one-way flight. It might just be a U-Haul to a different zip code. Thanks for watching today. We appreciate our viewers and we hope you liked the video. Take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.